This video is to walk through some additional helping points for the feature in Project Insight in the task default settings for work percent complete is calculated by individual task assignment. This video is specifically talking about the differences when it comes to updating tasks as a regular project resource or a project manager. For additional information about how to set up this feature, please check out our other video that we have about the work percent complete by individual task assignment, which talks through how this feature works on a general basis. Now let's go through this example here that I'm using. I have this task, cream, butter, and sugar, and it's assigned to Mr. Bean and Darryl. Both of the resources have 4 hours, and right now both of the resources have not started the task. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to show what this example looks like when both people, Mr. Bean is a project resource and Darryl is a project resource. Meaning that they don't have any extra capabilities on the project, they are a normal Joe Schmo user. So if I take this project and I impersonate, and let's go in here and impersonate Mr. Bean, who is just a regular resource. So impersonate him here. If he were to update this task from the work list, and let's go to this one here, mark dated as done. Now if we were to go back into the task, please notice that Mr. Bean and Darryl, same since they're both project resources, they actually can't click on the update status button here. They have to go down to the assignment details, and you can see Mr. Bean marked his as done, and so now Darryl Flanagan has his task still not completed because of how much Mr. Bean he completed his, but Darryl has not completed his. So that's why that task is still in progress, because he's completed 4 hours, which is 50% of that work. So now if we take a look, if we go back to the task list and do the same thing for Darryl, if I stop impersonating, go back in as Darryl, let's impersonate him. Let's maybe go to the task list now as Darryl. And you can see it's in progress. Now if I were to mark that as done, now the task is fully done because both people have gone and updated their task. Again, they can't update it here because they're just project resources. It has to be done down here. If you have any questions about the percent allocation, that is not actually handled by the updating tasks. It's actually handled by how much allocation is taking up their day for the 4 hours. So in normal Project Insight language, if a normal day is 8 hours, and if somebody has assigned 4 hours for one day, which this is a 1-day duration, then that 4 hours is going to take up 50% of their normal work day. 8 hours, 100%, 4 hours, 50%. So as you can see, this task is now done because both people have finished updating their tasks. If I go back out, stop impersonating, now I'm back into the task as Dylan, who is a project manager. I am a project manager on this project. So if we look at my role, I am, well, project scheduler, which actually has the same roles. It's just I don't have view of financial information, but now if I make myself a PM, just to keep it consistent. If you have more questions about the project roles, we have a video on that as well. But now if I go back in here and make this not started, I as a project manager, when I update the task status from here, it updates the task status as a whole, not for each individual resource. So now overall the task has been changed to not started. And if you go back down here, you can see both of them has been updated back to not started, because I am doing this as a project manager, not as a resource as these two. You can also see that I've got not started here. I can actually update the task status from here to done. And because I'm a project manager, that updates the task status as a whole and overriding the individual work status of the resources. So you can see down here, by PM, I have that role to do that and update it overall. This is a key difference between the project resource and a project manager slash scheduler, is that they have that ability to update tasks as a whole rather than individually. So if you ever run into an issue where some tasks are getting updated as a whole, please make sure that one of these people are not a project manager, as if Mr. Bean was a project manager. Let's go and try that out. Not started. If we made Mr. Bean a project manager, and let's go impersonate Mr. Bean. Alright, let's go to his project. Same project. Now let's go in, and if you click into the task, you can see that he's got that option now because he's a project manager on the task. Let's step back one more page. If he were to update his status on this, since he's a project manager, it would actually update the status of the entire task. So if we went back in, the whole task is done because his role in the project is a project manager. He can also has this option to do it here, like again, because he's a project manager, and it updates everyone. So that's some of the differences between updating tasks as a resource versus a manager slash scheduler when using the feature to update work status calculated by individual assignment.